I'm joined by Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Omar Abdullah. Mr. Omar, what is your first reaction to this? The case it has become a reference point as far as the human rights is concerned. Now, the same case which was conclusively proved by the CBI, now Army says, Army men are not.
It's extremely disappointing. I think the goodwill that the Army had earned in sanctioning court-martial for the Matsal fake encounter has been seriously eroded by this decision in the Pathribal encounter case. I fail to understand how this is not evidence that I have collected. It is not evidence collected by a state authority that some could accuse of being biased. This was evidence collected by the CBI, which is a central, it's your premier sort of investigation agency. Now, if the CBI can find in this matter, how is it that this evidence is not sufficient for the Army? I will be asking my law department and my Advocate General, one, to examine what options are available to us in the state. We will approach the highest courts in the land on a legal, as far as the legality is concerned. On the political administrative front, I will knock on all the doors, whether it be the Defence Minister or the Prime Minister, because this is too serious a matter to be allowed to be closed like this.
Mr. Omar, as you rightly mentioned about the Machil fake encounter case where Army has now ordered a court-martial, people have already, doubts. They were cynical about the court-martial proceedings here. They are saying, how can court-martials give justice when the same Army that was defending this case for all these years, they are in fact ensured that Army men never stand trial all these years. Now the same case was handed over to the Army. Do you think there would be any justice so long Army is going to, investigate this?
Well, I was far more optimistic about the possibility of justice before this decision was taken with regard to Pathribal. I am, I must confess, very disappointed. That having been said, I'd like to still give the Army the benefit of the doubt, because if they wanted to bury the Matsil fake encounter case, they could have treated it the way they've treated the Pathribal case.
But Pathribal, they also ordered a court-martial. They also, started.
Well, let's see.
It is not the court-martial findings that.
I think what we need to do is to allow the Army court-martial to go ahead. There are other avenues available to us which we can explore if we need to. But I don't want to prejudice the Matsil fake encounter case. Let us see what results sort of derive from that court-martial, and then I'll frame a judgment.
Politically, people were always talking about that if Army is going to give, justice to certain cases like Pathribal, which I said had become a reference point as far as human rights is rights violence are concerned. This decision by the Army, these findings by the Army, closing this case, despite the fact the CBI had proved it, they have filed a charge sheet in the court. What it means politically in Kashmir?
Well, obviously, politically, it makes our jobs that much more difficult. We are, just the other day, in an interview to an international news channel, I had, in large parts, defended the role of the Indian Army. And I still believe that, by and large, the Army has done a good job. But I must confess that decisions like this don't make my job any easier. It is very difficult. It's difficult for me to understand myself how an investigation by the CBI can be ignored like this, much less explain that decision to anybody else. It's not a decision that is easy to understand, and therefore I think Government of India needs to take a long, hard look at the signal they want to send in Kashmir. And if this is the sort of signal they want to send in the sort of run-up to the anniversary of Afzal Guru's execution, particularly in light. Don't forget, people are also looking at the recent Supreme Court judgment countering executions in a very poor light here, because they're saying that on the one hand you quickly execute Afzal Guru and then suddenly you find that executions should not take place if they're delayed. Time and again we are sort of reinforcing the stereotypes that it is impossible to get justice here, which is a very difficult or dangerous message to send out.
So you say it is going to further alienate the people, the Army decision and the recent Supreme Court?
It definitely is not going to help things. And as I said, I hope that Government of India takes a long, hard look at the sort of message they're sending out to Kashmir, because this is the wrong message to send.
As Chief Minister and the Home Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, what are you going to do? What are the options before you? Are you going to appeal against
Well, as I said, I will talk to the Law Department and the Advocate General. Whatever options are available to us, we will exercise, and also ensure that we take this up with the Government of India. Prime Minister is visiting Jammu and Kashmir in the first week of February. I have no doubt that this will form part of what I have to discuss with him.